Now we're going to take a look at a feed budget, a real feed budget that's actually in progress, to see how that looks. So the feed budget we're going to look at is for a section of the Teagasc Moor Park Dairy Farm. It has an active feed plan running from the 15th of August 17 to the 21st to the 11th 17. So to look at that, we click on the feed budget here. And we can see the feed budget. It's just a section of the farm of 5 hectares. Its start date of this feed budget was the 15th of August and the end date is the 25th of November. So we click on See Budget. So the information we want to look at in this budget is the farm cover at the start date was 750. We can see the weeks of the budget as down the left hand side of the screen. We can see that the area of this section of the farm is just over 5 hectares. We can see that we started with 15 cows and they were having a daily grass intake of 17 and they weren't having any grass or any meal or silage. As the plan progresses, we can see that the cow numbers start to decrease. So in late September, they go down to 14 and the grass also decreases by 1 and we've introduced a little bit of meal. And then the cow numbers decrease further, 13, then to 12 as the weeks progress and right on to go down to 11 and going down to 9 towards the end of the plan. And at the end of the plan, on the 21st of November, we just have 9 cows and they're having 12 of grass, 3 of meal and 4 of silage. We can also see the columns here, our demand is going down over the weeks as well to reflect that our stock numbers are reducing. We can see our predicted growth rates and they will be the predicted growth rates for Munster as the Moor Park Farm is in Cork and Munster. We can also see the actual growth rates because this is a real live plan. As the farm put on covers each week, the actual growth rates are showing. So we can see some weeks the actual growth rate is a little bit behind what's predicted and other weeks it's a little bit ahead and some weeks considerably ahead. For example, in the 3rd week of the plan, we can see the actual growth rate was 72, whereas the predicted growth rate was just 49. Now on a live feed budget, you can also see a lot of information by rolling down under the large table and looking at this graph. Every feed budget will have this comparison chart. So down the left hand side of the graph we have the farm covers in kilos dry matter per hectare and the weeks are along the bottom for the feed budget. See, starting at the 31st of August and running towards the end of November. So the red line on the plan is the target farm cover. So we can see on this plan they started at about 750. They aimed to peak just under 1,200 and then to have a closing cover of about 600. The green line then, because this is a real plan that's in progress and with lots of covers on, the green line is the actual farm covers. So we can see it's running reasonably well on target. We can see they have actually exceeded the peak cover that they had set. It went over 1,200 on around about the 23rd of October. And then the blue line is the predicted farm cover for the remaining weeks of the plan. And we can see from this that the predicted finishing cover is actually around about 800 if things go as they've been turning out so far, which is about 200 ahead of what the target was. So this plan is going quite well. One other feature to show you on this, some farms find it useful to click this button to look at the feed summary. And this will show you a summary of your feed requirements on the farm for the duration of the feed budget plan. So from the 15th of August to the 25th of November in this case, the values are expressed in tonnes of dry matter. So we can see for our cows we're going to need just over 20 tonnes in dry matter of grass, 1.6 tonnes of meal and 1.22 tonnes dry matter silage. So that enables us to plan and look at costings. You can also extend the period of the feed budget if you wish by clicking on this button. And the last thing to show you is if you wanted to print the information from the feed budget or do any other work on it, it is possible to export it to either Excel or PDF by clicking on either of these buttons. To export it to PDF, you click this button like so and click Save. And it comes up down here on the left. And then it comes up like this, and you can print that if you want. Perhaps you'd want to discuss it with your farm advisor or bring it to a discussion group or for any other purpose. So now we're finished working on our feed budget for today, and we'll close this Moore Park budget, close budget. Just to say, it is also possible to delete a feed budget if you want by clicking on this button. Obviously, you need to be very careful with that. It is possible to set up several feed budgets if it's something you're experimenting with, but only one of them will be active at any one time. And you can see this one here, because there's only one, it's active budget. In summary, the feed budget is all about planning. You know how many cows you will have each week, and you know how much each cow needs to eat. Then you can calculate the demand and use the predictive grass growth rates. You can keep an eye on the cover per livestock unit and the predicted farm cover to ensure it doesn't get too low or too high. If it drops below what you would like, you need to reduce the grass intake or make some adjustments like putting in meal or silage to get you through the period. As you record actual covers, you will get an idea of where you currently stand. As a consequence, you might put in more supplement, or alternatively, you might reduce supplement and increase grass intake. It's all a balancing act, but it will help you with your farm planning and management. That concludes this video.